Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, President William Samoei Ruto, when he was campaigning, he appealed to women in this country that if he will form the next government, then he's going to give half of that government to women. And remember, when you are campaigning, it is two-way. You are either forming government or you are taking the minority side. So that means even if Ruto was not going to form the government, even in the minority side, he was going to share those slots of leadership half-half between men and women, just to balance and to appeal to the issue of the two-third gender parity rule, which has really brought a problem in this country. So the question we are asking up to now, and where we have reached, because we are seeing now leadership is being shaped from the National Assembly, the Senate, and the remaining thing is the Cabinet. Is Ruto fulfilling what he promised the women in this country? And we will talk about the issue of ANC and Ford Kenya also. I want to listen to William Samoei Ruto shortly when he was campaigning. Then after that, we want to check if really he is doing the exact thing he promised Kenyans and the women in this country.
Mama Alice Wahome, kwa sababu amesimama na Hustler Nation. Nataka nimshukuru wamama wote ambao wamesimama na Kenya Kwanza. Mama Tabitha Karanja, Mama Susan Kehika, Mama Faith Ketau, Mama Millicent Omanga, wamama wengi wamesimama, Mama Margaret Wanjiro, Mama Jane Kihara, Mama Haika Mizigi, wamama wetu ambao wamesimama na kusema Kenya Kwanza. Na sisi tumesema kama serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, wamama wetu katika ile baraza la mawaziri, nusu 50% ya baraza la mawaziri ya Kenya Kwanza itakuwa ya wamama wa taifa letu la Kenya, kwa sababu tunawatambua na tunawaheshimu na tunaamini ya kwamba wako na mchango mkubwa wa kupeleka taifa letu mbele.
Now, we are continuing with the panel discussion, but just a quick request. You might be watching this channel, but you're not subscribed. So my humble request, please consider subscribing so that another time, once we release a video like this one, you will always get notified. Again, to all our returning subscribers and anyone who comment, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend our videos to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, Ruto appealed to the women during campaign, and even beside this, he went to an extent of signing a woman charter with the UDA women just to confirm that once he formed the government, half of it will go to the women. That means even these women have an agreement with Ruto which has been signed and even filed by the registrar of political parties. The question is Ruto fulfilling this? In fact, when Ruto was sworn in, the women came out to give a statement just to remind him to fulfill what he had promised them. Listen to these women shortly and we will continue.
We have followed the president-elect's campaign and manifesto and even supported him during the campaigns. Most importantly, for the women of Kenya, it is known that the president-elect committed in his manifesto to empowering the women, and that he's set to include women in his government and make them central to government decision processes of the Kenya Kwanza government. The Women Charter that the president-elect signed at Nyayo Stadium in public glare is a clear indicator of the commitment, and what now remains is the fulfillment of those commitments. In particular, we wish with humility to remind our president-elect that he promised to appoint 50%, that is an equivalent of 11 women, into his cabinet. Further, that he will ensure that within 100 days, he will put in place necessary arrangements and processes to facilitate the enactment of the 2/3 gender rule that has been elusive in the last 10 years or more. The women of Kenya, and particularly as the women of Murang'a, who came out in large numbers to vote for our president-elect, will also hold the Kenya Kwanza government to account on its promise to ensure that there will be a minimum of the constitutional threshold in government appointments going to women.
Now, for you to tell or to predict or analyze what will happen in future, we simply check on the current situation that we're having now and the past. So in terms of the past, Ruto did not appreciate the woman leadership, because all the way from the choice of his running mate, he was not a woman, and as much Raila had a woman, Martha Karua, George Wajakoya had a woman, and even the other one, Wahiga Mwaura, had also a woman running mate. But Ruto had a problem because he was the only man who had a man as a running mate. So his past history wasn't good, and even in the past selection of the cabinet, when they had a half-half government with the President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013, most of the people Ruto brought to the table were not women, they were men. But now let us look on the current situation, because now that is the past. What has happened after Ruto was declared the winner? And the parliamentary group meeting, we have seen the Azimio side and the Kenya Kwanza side having as of now. Because we want to look on the leadership they have selected, then we can tell what will happen in the future. Number one, when you come to when you go to the leadership of the National Assembly, number one, Kikuyu MP Kimani Ichung'wah has been selected as the leader of the majority in the National Assembly. Number two, that's a man. Number two, Kilifi North MP Owen Baya, deputy majority leader, man. Number three, Marsabit County woman rep Naomi Wako, deputy majority whip, woman, good. And lastly, number four, South Mogirango MP Silvana Sosoro, majority whip, National Assembly. Out of the four positions, majority leader, the deputy, then you come to majority whip, deputy also, only one woman has been selected there. Naomi Wako. So already, in my own view, going with what the leadership of the National Assembly has selected, Ruto has already failed the woman on the signature he appended to make his government 50-50. We were supposed to have two women here and two men. In fact, when you are giving Kimani Ichung'wah the position of majority of the National Assembly, then you come to the woman, you give the leader of majority whip. That is a good 50-50. Not all women to deputize the men in the house. In that way, you are failing. So from the word go, Ruto is not working towards fulfillment of the 2/3 gender role that failed. In fact, for him, he had come to 50-50, not even the 2/3. So in my view, in the selection of the National Assembly, Ruto has failed the women. Number two, come to the Senate. Who is the Senator Majority Leader? Kericho Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, the Senate Majority Leader. Nakuru Senator Tabitha Karanja, Deputy Majority Leader in the Senate. Then we have Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale, Majority Whip in the Senate. And we have Samburu Senator Lilengu Lintu Besi, Deputy Majority Whip. So tell me, where is the woman in this leadership? Again, also the only position that are given to a woman there in the Senate leadership is only the Deputy Majority leader Tabitha Karanja, huyu wa Kirochi. But what should have happened? If Aaron Cheruiyot is the majority leader, then we should have the majority whip being a woman, not Hanwari, a woman. And then when you come to the issue of now, the deputies also balance. Also, a woman should be a deputy somewhere, and a man should be also a deputy somewhere. So in the National Assembly, 1 woman out of 4 and is just a deputy. In the Senate, 1 woman out of 4 and is just a deputy. That alone also tells you that both in the National Assembly and in the Senate, Ruto has failed to fulfill what he had promised the women in this country. The only thing that is remaining is how Ruto is going to select his cabinet. He has at least, is it 20 or 20? I think 21 there. And out of this 21, at least Ruto needs 10 women. So tell me, if Ruto has failed to make it a reality of woman leadership in the National Assembly and the Senate, how will he fulfill or deliver the 50% in the cabinet? Is it possible? Going with what I've seen, I can assure you that there is nothing like 50% to the women on William Ruto's cabinet. Forget about that. We're going to wait and see, and if we will make it, 50% will come here and confirm to you. But with what we have seen, they have failed. But again, I wonder also, with the Azimio side, I don't expect Azimio to do what they did. Even Azimio that failed in the leadership of the National Assembly, let me not go into much of that, but if you check the majority leader, they are saying Opiyo Wandayi, and then Deputy Majority Leader Robert Mbui, and then Junet Mohammed is also going to be the Chief Whip, and the Deputy Chief Whip, Sabina Chege. Everyone is failing here. So we not condemn only to believe a UDA party, but still even in Azimio, they have failed the women. Though the man who went into an extent of signing an agreement, it is Ruto. That's why I'm more on President William Samoei Ruto. Besides this, let me use this opportunity also to talk about the 30% that Musalia Mudavadi and the National Assembly Speaker Senator Wetangula had promised the Luhya community. They said in every position they will get, be it ambassadorial, the cabinet slots, the PSS, and the parastatals, everything, it is going to be 30% back to Luhya Nation. And this was going to happen through either the ANC and Ford Kenya party. That means even in the number of CSS, 7 is from Mudavadi and Wetangula to share. PSS evil, they have to share. Now, going with what has happened in the National Assembly and the Senate, there's nowhere a representation of 30% of Musalia and Wetangula in the formation of the National Assembly leadership. All is UDA. People have read here. Nothing from ANC, nothing from Ford Kenya. Come to the Senate. All again is UDA. Nothing from ANC, nothing from Kenya, from Ford Kenya. So where is the 30% that Musalia and Wetangula had promised Luhya people that they are going to bring it back home? Even if they are not giving to a Luhya, but just someone in ANC party or Ford Kenya. Where is it? To that far, I can predict that Ruto might not deliver the 30% he promised to Musalia and Wetangula. At least he will do something. Of course, he has solved the issue of Wetangula and Musalia, he will solve. He will get a good office there. But what about the 30% in fullness? I think it might not come to happen. Going with what we have seen as far as the formation of the National Assembly and the Senate leadership is concerned. See you in our next video, but tupatane kwa comment section for continuation of this conversation.